Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our discussion. Firstly, I would like to thank to Allah. Because of him, today we can do our discussion. And then I would like to thanks to our lecturer and also all of the participants. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Adwitya Dhari. I'm going to lead our discussion today. Our topic today is that penalties should be abandoned in law enforcement. Then the goal of this discussion is to find out whether death penalty should be banned or not. Shall we begin? Now pay attention to these slides. Since 1977, 1 year after the US Supreme Court reaffirmed the constitutionality of the death penalty, more than 1,480 people have been executed, primarily by means of lethal injection. Most death penalty cases involve the execution of murders, although capital punishment can also be applied for treason, espionage, and other crimes. Proponents of the death penalty say that it is an important tool for preserving law and order, deters crime, and cause less than life imprisonment. They argue that retribution or an eye for an eye honors the victim, helps console grieving families, and ensure that the perpetrators of heinous crimes never have an opportunity to cause future tragedy. Opponents of the capital punishment say it has no deterrent effect on crime, wrongly gives governments the power to take human life and perpetuate social injustice by disproportionately targeting people of color or races and people who cannot afford good attorneys or classes. They say that lifetime jail sentences are more safe and less expensive punishment than death. All right. Now, what do you think about this topic? Then I would like to invite Mr. Hanif to give his opinion regarding this. Mr. Hanif, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Awi, as moderator. I will give my opinion about the death penalty. According to me, I think that the death penalty should be banned because I think giving the death penalty to guilty people can reduce the crime rate of people, and that is all fact. I once heard news about an old man killing a person who stole his house and tried to harm him and his family. The old man was forced to kill the robber because he wanted to protect himself and his family from bad people. Then the father slashed the thief with a machete to death. But because of the murder that the father committed, instead he was sentenced to a very heavy sentence, the death penalty, even though the old man had no intention of killing and he just wanted to protect himself and his family from crime. The death penalty does not provide room for self-correction because how to make correction if they have been executed? According to Gufron, the death penalty also violates constitutional rights and must be protected by the government. It violates the constitutional rights of all citizens. The right to life must be protected by the government. He said, I can imagine how the family of a person sentenced to death will feel. They will lose their family by being killed tragically. Okay, I think that's all for me. Thank you. Back to moderator.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hanif. And now I would like to invite Mrs. Antika. Mrs. Antika, time is yours.
Okay, thank you to moderator. In my opinion, I am the one of those people who support this death penalty. But first, look at what crime they have committed. Then they can be given the death penalty because it is impossible if only trivial mistakes are given the death penalty. This most extreme of punishment should not be meted out with glee or with melee, but with a heavy sigh and the realization that the death penalty is the only sensible option in certain cases. It should be used in crime where where it should be used in crime where the nature of the crime raises question about whether the criminal is actually a human being or not. It should be sparingly used and used only in the rarest of rare crime, but it should be there as a provision. The system is flawed and justice system is not perfect, but that is why there are multiple heresical courts in any country. That penalty in several of rare cases does not deter the few criminals going to commit similar rare crimes, but they should neither be allowed to live, even in prison. It gives most of the victim family and kinds a sense of closure. I think that's all for me. I give it back to moderator.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Fatra to give his opinion or interrupt Hanif's and Antika's opinions. Mr. Fatra, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Adwitya, as a moderator. So, previously, I did not agree with the topic above. According to me, the death penalty is the best way to reduce the crime rate that exists in a region or country. This is because with the death penalty carried out with a good and correct legal procedure, it will cause a very good impact for suppressing the crime rate. With the death penalty for criminal effect by deterrent effect of this policy, the existence of this brings back harmony in the social environment, government, and especially the law environment to take firm steps that must be done in this regard. Okay, I think that's all from me. Back to moderator.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fatra. Well, what about you, Ananda? Do you have any idea according to this topic?
Okay, thank you, moderator. So personally, about the topic, I'm against the death penalty, because first, contrary to the Constitution and international human rights law. Second, the death penalty is a cruel and inhuman form of punishment. Third, the international trend towards abandoning the practice of the death penalty. Fourth, the deter effect of the death penalty is just a myth. Five, it does not deter crime. Countries who execute commonly cite the death penalty as a way to deter people from committing crime. This claim has been repeatedly discredited, and there is no evidence that the death penalty is any more effective in reducing crime than life imprisonment. And then the last, it is irreversible and mistakes happen. Execution is the ultimate irrevocable punishment. The risk of executing an innocent person can never be eliminated. Since 1973, for example, more than 184 prisoners sent to death row in the USA have later been exonerated or released from death row and grounds of innocence. Others have been executed despite serious doubt about their guilt. And then this one of the cases of the person who was saved from the death penalty, namely Hafiz Ibrahim. 70 years old Hafiz Ibrahim was sentenced to death for a murder which he illegally committed when he was age 16. So that's all from me. Back to moderator.
All right, thank you very much. In conclusion, we believe that the penalty should be used in circumstances where the offender takes away a victim's right or rights, depends on the circumstances, as they are returned the favor in that sense. It's kind of like an eye for an eye. All right, that's all from me. I am as a moderator of this discussion would like to apologize for all of the mistakes that I have made. Thank you for your attention and also participation. Good afternoon and see you.